Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Unclear, and today we're back with another This Week in Destiny. So sit back, relax and enjoy a nice cup of tea while I read the patch notes to you so you don't have to read them yourself. So this week in Destiny, the community gathered to finish a puzzle and get a sneak peek of what's to come. What's going on here exactly? Drifter? Guess you have to find out next Tuesday in our The Edge of Fate reveal stream. But before that, how about you find out about the topics for this week? So we solved the puzzle, May 6th, Heavy Metal Tournament Emblem, Update 8.2.6, 3 new weapons added soon, and celebrating AANHPI Heritage Month. I don't know what that is. Is that an American thing? Of course you solved it. Last week, the Guardians with the keenest eyes noticed something weird. What were those chess pieces scattered all along the Sol system? Pawns, knights, bishops, rooks. What was this all about? It didn't take you much time to understand what was going on and to put the pieces of our latest community puzzle together in a quite literal sense. Your reward? Some exclusive rewards and a very cryptic cinematic. We hope you have enjoyed solving Destiny as much as we did creating it. To all the players who took part in it, to the community leaders that rose above to organise them, and to the first team to find the answer, you are awesome. And now, let's watch the cinematic trailer together, shall we? So I'll leave a link to the trailer if you guys want to watch it. I've also got it on my channel as well if you guys want to see my reaction to it initially. May 6th is next week, so just before reset we have a Edge of Fate reveal stream. You got a sneak peek already. There's only 5 more days to go until we reveal the Edge of Fate. We'll cover many of the changes coming to Destiny 2 this summer, the new expansion and its campaign, major changes coming to many core and structural systems throughout the game, some of the new rewards you'll be earning. So let's repeat this one last time then. Join us on May 6th 9 AM PT as we reveal not only the next expansion for Destiny 2, but also the beginning of a new year of content. Tune into the stream for 15 minutes with your Bungie account connected to Twitch and you'll receive this emblem. It looks pretty nice. Alright. Heavy Metal Tournament and Emblem. Brigs and tanks go boom. We're pitting 8 content creator teams against each other in a high octane tournament during Heavy Metal Week to see which team can become the lords of heavy machinery. Because we don't yet know who's going to advance the semis and finals, here is the full schedule, accounting for all scenarios. Stay tuned to socials for updates on which team ends up in the finals. We'll also announce the creator team members in bracket in next week's Twid. So there's a few brackets here. So they've really got their teams together, so it should be interesting to watch. The winning team will receive a unique reward inspired by an in-game item. Huh, interesting. Stay tuned for details next Twid. Those of you watching can grab a cool emblem by tuning into the tournament. Watch any opted in Destiny 2 streamer on Twitch for 1 hour between May 9th and 10 AM and May 16th to receive the Mad Dog emblem. Alternatively, participating creators from the 8 selected teams also have limited quantities of the emblem to give out during their tournament streams. That's a cool emblem, I like that emblem. Alrighty, this is where the hood gets juicy. Update 8.2.6, the sandbox preview. So this is happening next week. When update 8.2.6 arrives on May 6th, we're making a few changes to some weapons, exotic armor pieces, and abilities. Consider this like a second mid-season update, not as big as a new expansion update, but still impactful. The changes we are making aim to take some outliers down a notch, fix some issues, and give a push to certain archetypes with the goal of making PvE and PvP metas more balanced and varied. With all that said, let's offer the floor to our sandbox team. So ability changes, Crucible only, Prismatic supers. The recent penalty to the super cooldown time while on Prismatic feels just a bit too strong, so we have walked back that partially to make it more likely Prismatic subclasses will be able to get their supers in longer trials and competitive matches. Reduce Prismatic specific super cooldown penalty from 10 to 5%. Scatter Grenade. This grenade has been a bit of a power outlier in PvP for a while, so bringing it in line. Reduces scatter grenade damage versus players by 15%. Hunters. On the prowl, the void aspect is too strong in PvP, and the utility needs some more limitations to force more deliberate usage. So they're reducing PvP prey finding range from 45 to 25 meters, and reduce PvP hunt time from infinite to 15 seconds. Warlock. Lightning Surge arc aspect can feel frustrating to play both with and against, as it feels the damage against players can be highly variable. Clamp. The variability of Lightning Surge damage against players, and slightly increase the minimum damage dealt and reduce the maximum damage dealt, so kind of put it in line with stuff. Alrighty, so those are PvP only changes. Next is global changes. This will affect everything. Hunter. Withering Blade, the stasis and prismatic melee. This melee was underperforming in PvP and needed a PvE consistency bump. So increase the tracking strength by 20% and increase damage by 10%. All throwing knife melees. Thanks to player feedback, we identified an issue that was causing hunters throwing knife melees to track targets inconsistently. On top of that, we've further improved the tracking of lightweight knife and fan knives to make them a more attractive option. So, fix an issue where throwing knives were not tracking correctly. They now should track more consistently. The lightweight knife, solo melee, increased tracking shape size by 10%, increased tracking strength by 20%. Fan of knives, solar and prismatic melee, increased tracking shape size by 15%. The On the Prowl void aspect. On the Prowl assassinations now provide an instant bump of ability energy instead of doing it over time. This makes eliminating a target more immediately satisfying and makes for an easier looping in PvE. So the reduced prey finding cooldown from 0.5 seconds to 1.1 seconds. Ability energy is now granted instantly instead of over time. Okay. Warlock. Lightning Surge, the arc aspect. Slightly increase the follow-up melee suppression time after Lightning Surge to match Shoulder Charge and other similar abilities. Okay. So no Titan touches this run around. Only a couple of Warlock and Hunter ones. Alrighty, so we have some weapon updates here. So starting off with pulse rifles. Legacy frame. When we look at our high skill lobbies, the most recent nerf to 450 RPM pulse rifles, Redrix stock has fallen more in line in terms of effectiveness, while usage remains high. It's generally in line where rows and aggressive hand cannons have been near their peaks, as shown in the charts below, with slightly usage but lower effectiveness. However, in our middle skill lobbies, Redrix stock continues to be an issue. We believe this problem is twofold. Competition from auto rifles and other pulse rifles in terms of forgiving mid-range options, and the legacy frame offering a slightly too much jack of all trades playstyle. Similarly, a solution will be two parts. Reduce the ADS range of legacy pulse rifles to match the damage pool of scale currently used for high impact pulses, and buff a handful of other weapon types, rapid fire pulses, high impact and precision auto rifles, and heavy burst hand cannons to provide a more competition in our mid-range engagements. So yeah, so also BXR, Battler and Erudite is also going to get a bit of a nerf. Alright, Legacy Frame Origin trait now reduces ADS damage fall off scalar by 0.1. This reduces Battler and Estoc's ADS damage fall off scalar from 1.7 to 1.6, matching high impact pulses. Increase the PXR Battler's airborne effectiveness stat from 10 to 21. You see on the frames here, it's up there. It's definitely high usage, but not effectiveness. It's like, yeah, it's still not really there for high skill frames. Like frame, pace, roll, frame, fire. Yeah. It's not really there for the high skill lobbies. Those are expected high skill lobbies. See the pulse rifle, high impact frames. This hand cannon lightweight frames are still the best. That's your rows, if I'm wondering. Rapid fire. Wants to bring another pulse rifle family up to compete with lightweights in terms of forgiveness without buffing their optimal time to kill, or TTK. And rapid fires were a prime candidate. Increased base damage from 14.5 to 15, and precision damage from 27.6 to 27.8. It'll be a bit different, but won't be game changer. You won't see a massive intake, but you might see some more competition there. It's not bad. Alrighty, hand cannons, heavy burst. When we initially released heavy burst hand cannons, we were concerned that their faster time to kill and increased forgiveness would be too strong when paired with a longer range profile like that of the aggressiveness. In practice, that has not proven to be the case, so we are increasing the damage fall off scalar with ADS to allow them to push into the mid-range more effectively. So increase damage fall off scalar 1.5 to 1.6. We'll have to see how that plays out, but I don't think it'll be that. These changes aren't sweepingly drastic, but they might shift the needle a bit. Adaptive Judgment. Judgment will be returning with some polyfoil treatment during the Rite of the Nine. We have taken this opportunity to adjust Judgment stats to be more competitive with other adaptive hand cannons. All versions of this weapon will be updated. So mag size increased from 9 to 11, reload speed increased from 40 to 45, and handling increased from 42 to 55. Not so bad. Auto rifles, high impact. High impact auto rifles have struggled to find their footing in PvP when facing weapons that do not require line of sight. We've upped the base damage to make them more forgiving and to allow for better interactions with smaller damage boosts in terms of reducing time to kill. So increase base damage by 4%, body shot goes from 23 to 24, and shots or critical hits go from 41.4 to 43.2. Precision. This is a second and partial reduction of the damage reduction given to them several seasons ago. So this is just focused on the body shot damage to increase forgiveness and does not bring the critical hit damage back to where it was before that change. Increase base damage precision auto rifles by 3%. Reduce the precision damage scale to slightly offset this. So body shot damage goes from 19.4 to 20, and critical hit goes from 33.95 to 34. So you won't really notice too much, but it might give you a bit more forgiveness. So we'll have to give it a try. Submachine guns. Adaptive submachine guns. We wanted to give adapted SMGs more of a unique role in the close quarters combat sandbox. Outside their slightly increased forgiveness, we believe the additional range will help differentiate them and allow them to compete against other weapons more effectively. So we've increased the ADS damage fall off scalar from 1.4 to 1.5. Shotguns, heavy burst slug. Heavy burst damage is not high enough to compare to normal slug shotguns to make it worth the additional control required to utilize them effectively. So we have further buffed the damage, increased damage by 8. That's the Nightmare Hunt shotgun from the Halloween season last year, I think it was. That was a heavy burst shotgun. It was actually really nice too. It's one of my favourite shotguns. it's got a 8% damage buff. Weapon perks. One quiet moment. This perk often runs counter to expected behavior in the Crucible, so we've split the buff into 2 separate stacks, allowing the first to activate much more quickly. It now has 2 stacks. One that activates 1 second out of being combat for 50% of the bonus, and the other at 2 seconds, so it's now just got 2 bars. Alacrity. While incredibly strong when active, Alacrity has nearly 0 uptime in non-Crucible trial playlists. We want to give it some additional utility. We believe this will make it one of the strongest origin perks for Crucible in the game, and should help to better position weapons from trials or Osiris alongside competitive playlist offerings. Now activates at a reduced effectiveness whenever a teammate dies, where it reaches maximum effectiveness when 2 or more teammates are currently dead. Are they going to change the description? So instead of being the last living member, if it's say a 3v3, if one of your teammates dies, you actually can trigger Alacrity, giving yourself some of the bonus. If your other teammate dies, it goes to full strength. That's not bad, that's not bad. That's a good change. It means it gives it some utility when it's a 2v3. Alrighty, exotic weapon updates. Lord of Wolves. Lord of Wolves has been an absolute beast within the realm of PvE for many months now. Both Atheon and Templar have been shaking in their proverbial boots whenever Guardians ready their weapons for DPS phases. Well, we found Lord of Wolves was far outperforming we wanted it to be. We decided to let this ride for most of Heresy for a fun little meta time period, with Wrath of Iron arriving soon. It's time to rein it in. So Lord of Wolves is getting a reduced hit fire damage in PvE by 30%. That is a massive nerf. 30% damage reduction when hip firing. Risk Runner. Risk Runner has long been a low zoom outlier as far as SMGs go. We wanted to bring it in line with more other options alongside the buff, getting in range as part of the SMG changes below. Increase zoom from 13 to 14. So it gets slightly more zoom and a bit more range. Risk Runner, for all my new light players, is a fantastic weapon to have. You should have it in your arsenal all the time, especially for day 1 content. And Arc Field, crispy. Truth and Two-Tailed Fox. Rocket launchers are really compete in Crucible as the viable heavy options against linear fusion rifles and light machine guns. Giving them more ammo from crates is not a decision we would make lightly. To test the waters, we've selected 2 exotic rocket launchers that will get additional ammo from heavy ammo crates in PvP. So Two-Tailed Fox and Truth will, instead of getting 1 rocket, will get 2 rockets in Crucible. Eleothinum, it's the seasonal stasis exotic grenade launcher. Creating an ammo brick drained all the weapon's energy, which prevented players from creating 2 special ammo bricks when at 100%. It adjusted the cost of special ammo bricks to 50% to allow the player to create another special brick if they desire. So you can create 2 specials or 1 heavy now instead of 1 of each, which is pretty cool. And they reworded the trait to be less confusing. Finale's Auger. We added some quality of life changes that should make using this weapon overall a smoother experience. Increase the duration that a target is painted to match the duration of the turret. The environmental target marker now marks additional targets that enter the zone after its initial creation. Now grants automatic reload from reserves after deploying a turret. Reduces the turret's self-damage by 85%. Self-damage, okay. Increase the turret's damage by 10%. Wow, so it could damage itself. So it's got a 10% buff and it's easy to use. That's the overall thing. Alrighty, and we have some armor updates here. Wow, this thing's big this week. Wow. Armor updates. Hunter. Radiant Dance Machines. The goal of Radiant Dance Machines rework was to introduce a new style of gameplay into PvP, centered around aggressive, close-range play with primary weapons. While this happened in practice and received a large amount of feedback that playstyle itself was fun to use, we need to make sure that at its peak it's still in band with other playstyles that exist in high-end Crucible gameplay. Unfortunately, due to differences between the input devices, the current tuning for RDM continues to remain problematic on mouse and keyboard, while being significantly less effective on controller. The last word is excluded. Usage reflects this, with RDM seeing 40% high usage on the mouse and keyboard, Pressing keyboard already benefit from having significantly higher aim assist, accuracy and stability while hip firing than the controller does, and stacking those benefits with ones from IDM is allowing some weapons to perform outside their intended bounds. Long term, we want to investigate moving the two inputs to be more equal in terms of hip fire efficacy at base, but for now we are going to significantly reduce the benefits granted by RDMs. We believe that these values will still allow players to engage in hip fire combat, albeit a bit more limited range window and additional investments needed in the form of perks or mods that achieve a similar level of strength. In addition, so hunters don't have all the hip fire weapon firing fun, we're going to grant hip fire range and accuracy benefits for prime weapons, obstruction to an exotic on each warlock and titan, which will be discussed below. Okay. Wow, that was a long lot of sentences. In addition, here we go. Reduce the bonuses granted to prime weapons when hip firing, aligned with hip fire bonuses to range and execute the values granted by hip fire grip perk instead of the legacy frame intrinsic perk. Reduced accuracy bonus for standard weapons by 60%. Reduced aim assist fall off distance bonus by 60%. Further reduced the accuracy bonus for custom tuned exotic weapons, including the last word, by additional 25%. As a note, based on the feedback we have received from mouse and keyboard players using the last word RDMs, we're looking into tuning specific penalties for the input device down a bit in a future patch to make sure weapons are more usable without requiring an exotic. Although dodge uptime is already lower on RDMs than with some other hunter exotics, we want to reduce the class ability refund benefit just a bit in PvP to make it less of a focal point of the exotic. Reduce the amount of energy refunded for defeats against players when you do not have full class ability energy from 33 to 20%, to align with upper tier of the strategist perk. Now, so yeah, that's a lot. A lot of nerf. Alright, Titan, Line Rampant. Line Rampant has long been a niche exotic, and since it already dealt with hip firing thickness, we thought we'd be a great candidate for this buff. For a second buff, we're also like airborne thickness bonus provided by the exotic to be achieved even when ADS, so it's no longer limited to hip firing while airborne. So, Line Rampants. Added the accuracy and range hip fire bonuses for RDNs to Line Rampant for primary weapons only. These hip fire benefits are always active and not just when airborne. The plus 50 airborne effectiveness now is always active, not just when you're hip firing while airborne, so that's not bad. Warlock, Lunar Faction Boots. Lunar Faction Boots similarly see low usage in Crucible. What it does is almost to show off an extremely long range slug precision shotgun or fusion rifle kill. While those instances are funny, we don't believe they are genuinely suitable for PvP play, so we've reduced the range benefits while standing in an empowering rift for Crucible only, and in its place we've added the benefits to hip firing primary arrow weapons which are always active. So added the accuracy and range hip fire bonuses from RDMs to Lunar Factions for primary weapons only. Its hip fire benefits are always active, not just when in a rift. Decrease the range bonus granted by empowering rifts by 50% in PvP, only to reduce the occurrences of extremely long range kills with short range weapons like fusions and slug shotguns. Yeah, I think I have a video, I have to find it, where I have a 29 meter kill with a slug shotgun. It's crazy. One hit kill is wild. So there's 3 new rewards coming with patch 8.2.6. As you all know very well by now, we are reprising the Prophecy, Spirit Watcher and Ghost of the Deep weapon sets with new perks, additional traits, and a renewed look. This includes a hollow foil version of those with the soul of a crow. We think you'll love the weapons and their perks, so we won't be talking about those today. Discovering by yourself what they have to offer will make them a bit more special. That said, we want to give you a little teaser of what's to come. So how about the reveal of an additional weapon coming to Iron Banner, Trials, and Nightfalls. In Iron Banner, we're getting a weapon called Nature Reclaimed, a solar lightweight scout. So in column 3 you have Killing Wind, Outlaw, Heel Clip, Lone Wolf, Rapid Hit, Shoot to Loot. And column 4 Desperate Measure, Kill Clip, Incandescent, Precision Instrument, Box Breathing, and Explosive Payload. And obviously the Iron Banner trait. In Trials, you get a weapon called the Inquisitor, which is a Surus Foundry Arc Precision Shotgun. And in Column 3, you'll get Envious Assassin, Lone Wolf, Offhand Strike, Loose Change, Perpetual Motion, Slide Shot, Threat Detector. And in Column 4, Bait and Switch, Closing Time, Cascade Point, Fragile Focus, Jotting Feedback, Opening Shot, Precision Instrument. Alright, I know what I'll go for. I'll go for Envious Cascade. I'm gonna be honest. Nightfall, Cruel Mercy, it's an arc heavy burst pulse rifle from Omolon. This is going to have Dragonfly, Demolitionist, Eddy Current, 4 times a charm, Keep Away Lone Wolf. And in Column 4, Jolting Feedback, Adrenaline Junkie, Headseeker, Frenzy, Kill Clip, Desperado. I'll probably go Dragonfly, Jolting Feedback, I'm going to be completely honest. Alright, Nature Reclaimed will be first available starting May 20th when Iron Banner returns. So you can get it as the end of match reward from engrams once you get one. What I would recommend doing is saving them your engrams now, and then when it comes around, just hand them in, see if you can get one to drop, then focus them. For the Inquisitor and Cruel Mercy, we are trying something a bit different for the duration of Ride 9 to the Edge of Fate, which is both will be available at respective vendors. They'll also drop the Trials when you finish a Trials match or Nightfall activity. This also includes their Adept counterparts. Trials will be back on May 13th, first month update 8.2.6 live. So winning on a 4-win streak can get you the featured reward Ashes Care Adept, but also the Inquisitor Adept to go with it. Same thing goes with Grandmaster Nightfalls. For every Lotus Eater Adept you get the week of May 6th, you'll get a Cruel Mercy Adept. They have so just extra loot, just drop the new weapons, that's pretty nice. Then we have Celebrating ANH PI Heritage. Oh, there we go, that's what it is. Happy Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. That is a mouthful. I didn't even know it was a thing, so it must be American. So if you donate money, donate $10 or more, you get this cool looking emblem. I also have a list of known issues here. So known issues: Sun and Cell, Grandmaster's not available in Fighting Fighter. Some bosses don't spawn on Quarter Blades. When speaking to a vendor, you can hear them talking still. Final Century Sun doesn't chain lightning, which does suck here. 6-9 Drown relevant quests aren't available to be completed by some players. There is a workaround here. Due to this quest being a fixed between a character script and an account script, if you have an alternative character might progress on the quest, you need to plan that character to go back into the correct research paper for your main character. Sometimes, as you realize exotic mission, taking relic can drop below the surface during the Visk encounter. Another issue is when damaging Shrieker bosses in the 100 Doctrine dungeon, players receive critical damage feedback, but damage is actually just regular base damage here. If anyone wasn't aware, it should just be normal damage. You're hitting it inside, but it's giving you a yellow marker. Rough. When tracking a core is drowning limit, the quest completing steps may stop progress on the next step. Sometimes the Time of Want, a primary quest, does not progress after meeting step 3 and step 4 requirements. Memento shaders can be previewed on armor in the armor management screen. This is not intended, and mementos aren't being considered for use on armor. The honor of Hercules ornament, the right boot angled incorrectly, so the straps do not fit the boot. And finally, scout filaments and spirit filaments can't grant devour while faceted protection is equipped. Instead, the known issues. Got Artist of the Week and Movie of the Week here. So that is this week's Twit. Massive long changes. Let me know what you think of it down below. And hopefully these changes are good, and we'll see you all next week for the reveal stream. Anyway, until next time, guys, thank you all so much for watching. As always, stay safe. Take care.